감사합니다. 워워. 하나 바샤 워워.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the SoFlo Soccer channel. My name is Matt, your host as always. I was muted in those first 2 seconds. I apologize. But we're back. Inter Miami destroy Houston Dynamo 4-1 in our first ever road game of the season. And honestly, we have so much to talk about. This is the post-game reaction. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. This was a pretty intense game, guys. I mean, it was just overall dominance from Inter Miami. We're gonna get into it in just a second. But I mean, what a performance, man. Like, honestly, I knew we were gonna win the game. I just didn't know how dominant and how much better of an actual team that we were gonna be compared to Houston Dynamo. We made Houston Dynamo look like they've never played football in their life. The Dynamo have gotten they got so aggressive towards the end of the game as well. They were like pushing, they were shoving, they were honestly giving our players a lot of yellow cards because we were reacting to what they were doing to us. And but no, this is another good win, and we stay on the and we stay, I guess, undefeated, right? I mean, after what, 2 games, this is our second game of the season. We win both, or we drew the first one. We win the second one. So first win of the season. It feels really, really, really good. Ace Leonel mentioned something here that's very important, and I don't know if you guys caught it. Fray got a red card in the 90th minute. Let's talk about it now. This was probably the biggest downside because I want to talk about this, and then we'll just talk about the good stuff from here on out. But we'll talk about this Ian Fray red card that happened at the end of the game. So if you didn't catch it, literally as soon as the game was over, the cameras were panning somewhere else. They were just announcing, the referee blew the final whistle. It was all done. Ostadi had the ball in his hand, and it was the Houston Dynamo number 27. I think it's Kowalczyk. I have no idea how you guys say this name. Sebastian Kolwasic, whatever this guy's name is. He was just causing problems. He was starting to start talking, and then I think it was probably, I forget who it was. I don't know if it was Lodeiro, if it was somebody else, but one of the Houston Dynamo players were causing problems. He went up to Ian Fray, started grabbing his shirt, and then Ian Fray pushed him off, pushed one of the Dynamo players off, and then Dickerson, the head referee, gave him a red. And he made a gesture like this, saying that Fray grabbed him by the neck and pushed him off, which that's not what we saw on the replay when they showed it back. But so I'm assuming that Inter Miami are going to dispute that and most likely will win that dispute. Because it definitely wasn't hands to the neck. It was more, it was a push. Like he was just pushing the guy off of him. Ian Fray was pushing Bartlow. He was pushing Bartlow off of him. He came off the bench, I'm pretty sure, Bartlow. He was one of the defenders. He was just pushing him off, and what's it called? And yeah, Ian Fray, he was grabbing Ian Fray's shirt and shit like that. It was really bad. It was really stupid. And the fact that Ian Fray was showing a red card is really dumb. But hopefully Inter Miami win that dispute if they do dispute it, which they should, because I guarantee that they will win it. But yeah, that's the one, I think, downside that the one negative thing that's happened in that game. And but other than that, let's get into the starting 11 here. I'll show you guys what it is looking like on FootMob. So this is the starting 11 that we went with. Ustari in net, Jordi Alba, Noah Allen, Lujan, and Ian Fray as the back four. Essentially, when we predicted this, we almost got this right. I did not think that Lujan was going to get the start. I thought Maxi Falcon would get the start again, but I guess he's just still not match fit. Either that, or I guess maybe Mascherano just didn't want to risk him for, I guess, a game like this, because we have Champions Cup in a couple of days. So we're playing Lujan at the right center back spot, but Noah Allen keeps his left center back spot. Ian Fray plays right back, which is good. In the midfield, we have Segovia. We have Busi and Bright. Busi and Bright being our two, our double pivot, essentially. Our 2 5s. Segovia played on the left. Cremashi played on the right, and then Tadeo and Suarez essentially just played up top. Segovia would get into those central areas, which I predicted, and I think most of us knew it was coming. So yeah, essentially what we talked about in the preview, it's exactly what happened here tonight against Houston Dynamo. Segovia was getting to central areas. Tadeo was playing striker. Suarez was also playing striker, but then he would drift wide to the left. Cremashi was just being an engine going all over the place. And then Busi and Bright were trying to lock it down in the center and in the center mids. So it was really good overall performance. Spectacular, absolutely spectacular. Kovacic was acting like Vinny Jr. Literally every Dynamo player were on something, dude. They were getting so agitated, and I'm surprised that they didn't walk away with more yellow cards. I think like we at the end of the day, we got more yellow cards than they did, and they were causing more problems. It was just because we were reacting to them. Suarez 1 goals and 3 assists, man. Dude, Luis Suarez with the 3 assists, 4 goal contributions, right? 4 goal contributions tonight. Tadeo got a goal. De La Segovia got 2. Busi got an assist. It's just insane, man. These 3 honestly have had a performance like of a lifetime. Suarez, we were looking at prime Suarez tonight. Segovia is looking like the real deal, man. I knew this kid was going to be good, and I've never ever doubted that he was. But like he has such an immediate impact into this team, unlike certain like other players that joined and like maybe it took some time to develop. But Tadeo, Segovia, like they have made immediate impacts to this team, and it really showed tonight, and it's just unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. Ashende is the real deal. Fray looked great, and Alec continues to be super impressive. He's fast AF, says Chris Muldon. Dude, Fray did unbelievable, man. We'll go. Okay, let's go position by position. Well, let's talk about the defense first, so we're not kind of all over the place. But let's talk about the defense overall. Defense was solid, man. I mean, every time that Fray looked great. The fact that Fray, dude, if this game again, and I say that I feel like I say this every time that Ian Fray plays. Every time Ian Fray plays, it's like he needs to start. Like he needs to play every single game. And like Chelo is just not Ian Fray. Like I'd much rather prefer Ian Fray to be in this spot over Chelo any day of the week. So Chelo should be the rotation player. Like Ian Fray is our starting right back. Chelo needs to be the rotated guy. Chelo needs to be playing the non-important games so we can rest Ian Fray for the big games. That's what that whole situation has to be, because Ian Fray did phenomenal in this right back spot. He was quick. He made like this one recovery, like that really stands out to me. He made this one recovery in the second half after Redondo lost the ball in the midfield, and like he sprinted haul-assed into our own defensive third, recovered the ball, ended up getting fouled, and just won the ball back. And I'm like, dude, like that's how you have to fucking play the game, dude. He did absolutely amazing. Lujan, he did really good. I think there was a couple of times where I don't know if he was called off position or out of position, or maybe he was instructed to mark a specific person. But sometimes I feel like he either drifted a little bit too wide and left a little bit too much of a gap in those central areas, or something like that. But other than that, I think he did all right. Noah Allen, dude. The fact I'm gonna continue to say it, man. I'm going to continue to say it. Noah Allen is probably one of the, like, he deserves to be in the starting 11. He's my captain. He literally, like, he has proved to every single person that he belongs in, like, in a team full of international superstars. Like, he is the only kid, I guess, besides from Brighton and Cremashi, but he is essentially the only kid on this team. Cremashi has like those Argentinian roots. He's been getting a lot of hype around him or whatever since he joined. Bright didn't get any hype, but ever since he started playing and like playing consistently, people were getting on his back. Noah Allen was in the dark for so long, and now he's getting a chance to shine. Last year he had his chance to shine. He really showed it, and this year it's just he's shining even brighter. It's just amazing to see with Noah Allen. is doing with this team, and I really, really hope he can keep this up for the rest of the season. Jordi Alba played a pretty average game. I mean, he let his head kind of like he lost his head a little bit in the second half. He kicked this one of the players, I forget who it was, but he kicked one of the players for a stupid yellow. But that's because like he got shoved. So a lot of just conduct issues, I guess, from their team that affected our players. But I mean, just overall outstanding defense. Ustari, honestly, I like Ustari, but the fact like the only thing, and I feel like we talked about this before, but Ustari like he has a really slow reaction time, I feel like. I don't know if that's just because he's 38 years old, but he has a pretty slow reaction time. And I think that's one of the downsides to his game is that he just doesn't react fast enough, which can really hinder certain moments, especially if it's like a one-on-one or a fast break or whatever. On his feet, like he can play the ball. Um, while he has the ball on his feet, he plays really, really well. But I think like just like I said, his reaction time when there has to be a shot, like or when I don't know when a player's trying to get around them, he does react pretty slow. Fray looked great. Allen is super impressive. Bright is better than Redondo. Fray is better than Chelo. Well said. Lujan played well. Aviles better be on high alert. I agree. When Jordan receives the yellow card, told the referee to stay calm. At one time on those. And one time in the game, the yellow card were flying like water. uh, as handing something against Inter Miami. I really, really hope not. I mean, like, but I mean, it's interesting that you say that because I mean, like, we could talk about that actually 2 seconds, and then like we'll get into the midfield and the attack. But like, this is now the second MLS game where the referees have made a lot of calls against us. In the NYCFC game, that's happened a lot. With that horrible officiating, and my dad told me today that that same official that ref the NYCFC game ref the Orlando game against I think it was Toronto yesterday, and he got bombarded by the players after the game. So you know that it was it was just bad officiating because it happened again yesterday when he refed in Orlando. So today it was Dickerson. The thing is with Dickerson, I love Dickerson. I think he's a great referee. He's a FIFA referee. He's really, really good at what he does. But there are starting to this trend is kind of starting where there's a lot of calls against us for just like I don't know that I feel like maybe we haven't seen before, or maybe it's just a little bit. It's just a little bit one-sided, is what I'm trying to say. It's a little bit one-sided. We're getting a lot of the conduct calls. Like we shouldn't have had more yellow cards than they did. Like Houston should have walked away with way more yellow cards than we did. Jordi Alba obviously deserved his yellow, but the Houston player also deserved the yellow in that play. I think Cremashi got a yellow, but earlier, before he was given the yellow, the Houston Dynamo player, I think it was number 27, Kovacic or whatever his name is, he fouled Jordi Alba. He deserved the yellow. He didn't get a yellow. Bright got a yellow for I think it was persistent infringement, whatever the case may be. I think they only had maybe like 2 or 3 yellow cards. Two. They only had 2. I'm counting it right here. Houston only had 2 yellow cards. This guy, which was the foul on Suarez, I remember, and then I don't remember what foul this was. I think it was somewhere in the middle of the pitch, pretty early on in the game, if I remember correctly. But I don't know. Hopefully, it's nothing really against Miami, and hopefully, it's just a coincidence because I would really, really hate to see just calls being one-sided against us for like referees trying to prove a point that we're not favoring Inter Miami. Instead, that we're giving like they're trying to be as fair as possible, but that can turn into, and we've seen this at NYCFC, but that can turn into something against us. Very like that can negatively impact us and hurt us more than help, I guess, or hurt the game more than help the game, because then like it'll just be like they're kind of against us. So what's up, Kasad? Chelo meat writers wouldn't agree. Nice to smack the other team around. Yeah, dude, they looked really, really bad today. Allen is a must in this stream. Great job, Noah. Yeah, dude, props to Noah Allen, man. Gramashi needs to see a movement specialist to learn to move more smoothly and efficiently. Okay, let's talk about the midfield then. Since we guys are talking about the midfield, let's see a couple of other comments on the midfield. Let's talk about the midfield here. Let's talk about Busi and Bright first, and then we'll get into Segovia and Cremashi. Busi and Bright, this has to be our midfield pairing. Bright I think he had a bit of a slow start to the half. Okay, he was losing the possession. Like, he was losing possession of the ball a lot. I think he lost it maybe a handful of times, especially in that first half. And I'm like, damn, he's really losing the ball a lot. But he'll make some tackles. He'll win the ball back. He'll make some passes. And his passing was really good. But I don't know. I just felt like he lost. I think he lost the ball here. Let me try to see if I can find it. He lost the ball, like, I want to say a handful of times, maybe 5 times. And it says he lost 4 duels. He won 4 duels. He had 6 recoveries, 2 interceptions. I don't know. Something seemed a little bit off about Bright. He still did good. He still did fine. But then he got the yellow, and then we had to sub him off. So I'm like, it could have been better. This is not me like bashing Bright or anything, not saying that he's a bad player or whatever or anything like that. Honestly, I prefer him over Redondo. I thought because as soon as we subbed him out, Redondo played. He went in for him, and then we kind of like lost the midfield. Like, the midfield was just not ours anymore. And Redondo was losing the ball. Redondo, like, one of Redondo's mistakes almost led to a Houston goal. It was I wasn't liking Redondo off the bench. So Redondo's not a bad player. We obviously seen him before, and we've seen him play well early in this season. But the fact is that coming off the bench, I don't think he has that adaptability to just, like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, to be that guy. Like, he's not that guy off the bench, I don't think. I think Bright would be much better off the bench than Redondo. But yeah, that's just my opinion. For Busi's Busi. I mean, like, he played his game. He got an assist, and he almost played the entire 90, but obviously him and Suarez got subbed off because of what the scoreline was. But he had a great game. So let's talk about Segovia. I think Segovia was man of the match today. I'm not gonna lie. Segovia was man of the match. Redondo, Chris says Redondo's too slow. I agree. He's slow moving. He's like it's his reaction. He's not reacting. On the ball, he's not good. I think maybe off the ball he might be a little bit better, and I think he can win some tackles here and there. But generally speaking, he's not good. Like, he wasn't good today, but like, he wasn't good today off the bench. Generally speaking, he can win a couple of, like I said, win a couple of tackles and whatever. Off the ball, he can make some good moves. Today, when he came off the bench, lost every ball, didn't make a tackle. He just looked lost in the midfield, which was like typical Redondo from last year. But I don't know. But yeah, no, I wasn't a fan of Redondo, and he got a yellow on top of that. So I wasn't a fan of that. Payback Houston, Bright, Segovia, and Busi. What a midfield. Yeah, dude. It was a really, really good midfield. With Bright, Segovia, and Busi. Talking about Segovia, like I said, man of the match to Segovia. I think round of applause for Segovia. 2 goals. The second one came at literally there was no chance of him to score that second goal. Like, literally, he was doing like 360s. He fell on the floor. He kicked the ball. Like, it was crazy. But no, great game from Segovia. 2 goals. His dribbling was good on the dude. Like, this on the ball, when this guy has the ball at his feet, it's like he has no fear. He has no fear. He's just so good, and he's probably one of the best midfielders in the league, honestly. And I saw in the beginning of the season, when we were rumored to sign Segovia and he was going to join, a lot of people were comparing him to Diego Gomez. And honestly, I think this guy is probably better than Diego Gomez. He's on another planet. I mean, he provides that attacking threat, that offensive threat. He could play cam, he could play wide, he drops back on defense. Like, he's a threat everywhere he goes, and he does it with such confidence and with such great technical ability that he is like hands down probably one of the best center mids in the league. But I'm glad that he got subbed out because he got subbed out in like the 70th minute, 75th minute, and we need to rest him because he's probably going to be playing on Thursday. Um, so that's good for Benja. I think Benja could have done better. Benja was everywhere. Like I loved his pressing, but I think that obviously he just needs to improve his game a little bit more, which is not like his fault. Like that's just something that he has to continue to train and practice on and things like that. But I thought there were moments where Kremashi could have made better choices, or he could have controlled the ball a little bit better, like kind of things like that, made better passes. Um, there was this one moment where in the second half, I believe, where it was when Robert Taylor came in, and then I think Leo Afonso like put the ball across the net or across the box. It was a little bit too far. I think Kremashi ended up getting it, and then like he had Taylor wide open for like 5-10 seconds, and he just didn't want to pass it to him. I don't know, like that. It's just little things like that that he needs to improve on. And who was it? Was it Ash? Yeah, it was Ash that said it earlier. He needs to his movement, I think, could be improved. But it's just stuff like that. I'm not saying he played bad. It's just like things in his game that he can get better on, and um I think he will get better as the season goes on. He's definitely going to get a lot more playing time than last year. Um Brighton reminds me of a version like of Casemiro, like a bulldog, fit well with Segovia and Busi. I agree that he fits. I agree the fact that he's a bulldog, and I do agree that he fits with Segovia and Busi in that midfield. Um, I mean, fuck it, why not? Like, we can compare him to Casemiro. Like, he's the MLS version of Casemiro, 100%. Um, you're talking about Redondo. He retaliates when he loses, and then with the yellow. Messi, Ronaldo. That's a stupid question, Jackie. Come on now, come on, dude. Let's be real here. We got Maradona right here. We have Messi right there. We have Angel Di Maria, El Divo, Dybala. Come on, man. And then there's Messi in the corner right here. Messi, that's like that Barca celebration in the Champions League when he jumps into the fans. Come on, bro. Come on. Segovia is such a great all-round player, better than Gomez for us. Yeah, so Chris agrees with me, the fact that he's better than Gomez. Ashende is such a pleasure to see. He's like a train, so powerful on the counterattacks. Ben does not impress this year at all. Loses the ball a lot too, and too predictable. That's what I'm saying. Like there's things in his game that he needs to improve on. I like the fact that he relentlessly presses, and he's just like a little engine, and like he just has a lot of energy. But I think that he needs to improve on, keeping the ball, better decision making, and et cetera, et cetera. Like he still has time to develop. It's not like I'm trying to say, like Benja was never like this big player for us, right? He was always this young guy that has a bright future. And whatever. But I think like if he continue, he'll continue to grow this year, and I think he's gonna be a good player for us this year, and he's gonna keep playing that wing. He's gonna be playing that right mid, that left mid, those positions, and I think it's gonna be. I think he's gonna fit well into that role, but he just needs time. I think he needs a little bit more time. I still have faith in him. Um, I said like 2 weeks ago, Segovia not for long here. Miami will sell him very fast. I really hope that's not the case. I really hope we can keep him for at least 2 years, and then maybe at the end of 2026 we can probably sell him for a lot of money to Europe. But I mean, he's coming from Europe. He's literally coming from Casapia in Portugal. Um, Maybe I don't know if a top Premier League club or something like that will come and pick him up, but maybe like a mid-tier La Liga side or maybe a Serie A side will be better for him. I He'd probably do really well in the Premier League, to be honest, if you were to go there, honestly. But going to let's move on to the attack. Yo, how did they play today? I only watched some. We're going over right now. We're going over the individual performance, but just to summarize, the defense was, I mean, obviously both the midfield and defense, but well, we're going to talk about the attack first with Ashende and Suarez. Suarez, if like you have to look at both Segovia and Suarez tonight, with Suarez getting literally 4 goal contributions, 3 assists, 1 goal. Seeing Suarez play tonight, like, should erase all doubt that people have of him this season, right? Like, this is something that needs to be discussed because, and people in this chat, which I'm not coming at anybody for this, but I'm just saying this needs to be talked about. Suarez, and I've said it before, Suarez always has a bad game until he scores or gets an assist. He had 3 assists and a goal. He had the game of his life today. He was playing like he was in his freaking prime. Like, he was running, he was pressing, he was passing, he was creating like he was creating a lot of chances. And he was very, very clinical. Like, this is the Suarez that we know. And this is not going to be the last time that we see Suarez perform like this. Yeah, maybe he'll have a game, like an off game here and there. Maybe he won't get an assist. Excuse me, one game. Maybe he won't score another game. But this is going to happen. Like, he's going to be one of the top goal scorers, one of the top goal contributioners or goal creators in the league. Again, it's going to happen because, like, he's slow. He maybe he'll be injury prone, but he's so technically good. His his IQ is insane. His touch is insane. Like, he just knows the game way too, like, he just knows it too well to not not be good. Like, if that makes sense. So he's always going to be good. And as soon as Suarez leaves, we're going to be begging for him to come back. We're going to be begging and begging and begging and begging Suarez to come back to this team because we're going to end up with a striker who can't score or whatever the fuck, right? Like, we're going to be in that situation where we don't have a number 9 or some shit. And then everybody's going to be like, "Oh, remember when Suarez fucking dropped 25 goals or something like it last year?" Oh, 2 years ago. Oh, remember when Suarez like had 40 goal contributions last year? Like, come on, dude. Like, we're gonna really, really miss Luis Suarez when he leaves. So, I mean, hey, man, he's doing his job, and nobody can say shit. Like, nobody can talk smack on this guy because he's doing his job and he's doing it well. For Tadeo Ascende, he has really hit the ground running. Like I said in the beginning of the stream, he's really, really, really hit the ground running as soon as he joined this team. Like, and the goal he scored was a fucking golazo. Like, I need to show you guys this. Hold on. The goal that he scored, I think it was the second one. It was. It was the second one. Let me show you guys this goal real quick. This was a banger. I'm gonna make sure it's muted so you can properly watch it here. Like, so it literally started out like we lost the ball, or they lost the ball. Houston Dynamo lost it back here in our defensive third. Somebody knocked it up. Don't know who it was. I think it was Telasco, if I remember correctly. I think it was Telasco. He knocked it up to Suarez, who was all by himself. And then, like, literally, Tadeo just goes on the run. Like, Suarez sees Tadeo just make that run, continues to go all the way from here. Literally from here, he brings it up and over. It's insane. It was un golazo. So props to Tadeo. He is so quick. Those runs in behind are killer. Absolute killer. And it's really, really making our attack look good because this is something we didn't have, guys. This is something that we didn't have in what's it called last year. We didn't have this, like, because like you have to think about it as like Mascherano's tactic overall, right? Like his style that he's bringing to Inter Miami. Like, he's bringing this high pressure counter-attacking football that we couldn't play last year because of the players that we had. I don't think we were able to hold possession for more than a couple seconds. Even though I'm trying to look at the stats here, statistically speaking, we had more possession than they did. It didn't feel that way on while the game was happening. It kept feeling that we were losing the ball constantly. But every time that we had the ball, we would, if we didn't just lose it in the first 2 seconds, every time like we won the ball back, we were getting on the counter attack. We were passing into the space behind the defenders to Cremashi, to Ascende, to Segovia, to whoever was there, to Afonso later in the second half, to Robert Taylor, to whoever. And it really, really, really worked out. We ended up having 5 shots on target, and we scored 4 of them. And it, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's this style of play that Mascherano is bringing to this team that's really, really, really fitting with the players that we have this year. And I felt like we couldn't do that last year. And this is no disrespect to Tata Martino. There's no shots at Tata Martino. But Tata Martino was trying to play a style of football that didn't match the team. Like I said, this is not me coming at Tata Martino, right? But sometimes it felt like he would just throw out an 11 and then he would just be like, okay, guys, like, let's try to figure this out. There was no adaptation. There was no adapting. There was no, like, I feel like there was never really a game plan, right? Like, they would try to get balls in behind, but it's like Suarez is not running. Messi's not going to be able to outrun him. All we had was a Gomez and then maybe Taylor and then maybe Gressel on the other side. So it just didn't work. It didn't work. But this year it's working because we have players like Telasco Segovia, like Tadeo Ashende, even with players like Kremashi, who's quick, really, really, really quick. It's working. It's really, really working. So hats off to Mascherano for figuring this out and bringing in the right players for the style of play that he wanted to play. Because that, at the end of the day, if you don't have the right players, it doesn't matter what you do, you're not going to play good. Suarez looks so painful to watch, but the stats don't lie. Suarez is slow, but has a high IQ. His one-touch passes to create plays is why he's so valuable. Assists. Bro, I'm so late. Don't even worry about it, bro. We'll talk about a couple of things and then we'll kind of wrap it up. Ashinde is he has a good shot, but lack of dribbling and vision, but he could work as a striker. That's what I'm saying. I've always said that Tadeo Ashinde, he plays as like a false winger. Like he plays as like an inside winger or an inside forward. So like he'll start off on the wing and then he'll make those cuts inside, and then Suarez will drift to the wing, and then everybody will be distracted. We talked about this last time. They would be distracted just by Suarez, and then it just gives Tadeo that run in behind. So in that goal that he did score, he almost messed it up, to be honest, with his dribbling. So I understand what you mean, but at that extent. So but yeah, no, that's definitely something he could prove on. But no, he's been good, man. As a striker, as an inside forward, he's been really, 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 really good. So props to Inter Miami. He's putting 4 past Houston Dynamo, completely destroying what I've guessed. I predicted a 2-1 win in the preview yesterday, and we completely blew them out of the water. So props to Inter Miami. I feel like is there anything else that I feel like we should be talking about during the game? Honestly, not. Only the fact that I mean, like, I mean, I don't think we have to talk about this, but the fact that Messi wasn't there and the fact like we played like it just didn't matter. That is the sort of attitude, the sort of football that we want to see. When Messi's not here, how are we gonna play? And this is how we're gonna play. Like, just like this against Houston, high press, counterattacks, just being so threatening offensively, and then being just absolute walls on the defense. And Messi's going to be going to international duty in like what 2 weeks, I think. I think Argentina play Brazil on the 21st, I want to say. And Messi's been called up to that, obviously. So he's probably going to be getting a lot more rest within these next 2 weeks compared to others like Suarez and Jordi Alba and whatever, and Sergio. So, and even the other guys, right? So he's probably going to be getting a lot more rest because he's going to be going on international duty. Obviously, Mascherano understands that, having played with the national team before, having managed the U20s and things like that. So it's gonna be interesting to see. And I think in the summertime too, when we do have the the Mundial de Clubes, um, that's gonna be a pretty hectic month because I think Leagues Cup is gonna be happening around that same time as well, or something like that. I have to look at the schedule because I don't remember how hectic it is that deep into the season. But all I know is that we have to focus on these next 2 weeks, game by game. We have to focus on these next 2 weeks. We have Cavalier on Thursday. Then we have them next week again. Then we have another game on the 9th at home. So it's gonna be crazy. So I'm gonna be so. By the way, I'm gonna be out of town, guys, for like the next week or so. Um, so I won't be doing. Okay, so for example, I won't be doing a post game reaction on the 6th if anything, I'll save that for the weekend and we'll do like a preview / game review on this Saturday. So on the 8th. And then the 9th, we'll still be doing the post game reaction. I just won't be in my room. I'll be somewhere else. And then the following week, the same thing. I won't be here. I'll be somewhere else. So I'm trying to see if I can get that another vlog for you guys, a match day vlog for maybe the 29th. And if it's not going to be the 29th, it'll be the 6th, April 6th. So, but that's something that I'll update you guys as time goes, and things like that. But no, props to Inter Miami today. We played our asses off. We did really, really, really good. And I'm happy that Messi didn't play. No Messi, no problem. He needs to get his rest. But anyways, guys, tonight's Sunday. Tomorrow we have to go to work. It's 10 o'clock. I appreciate you guys for tuning in and for interacting with me and expressing your opinions to me on this Sunday night. I'm really, really happy with the Miami win, our second game of the season, our first road game of the season. And we really, really showed it to them. Hopefully that red card for Ian Fray can the red card, hopefully this can get disputed. Like hopefully this can be overturned so we can have him for the next game, because it really wasn't a neck to the face. Like it really, really wasn't. So hopefully that could be overturned. And yeah, and then we'll do the preview for Cavalier, the game against Cavalier on Wednesday. So stay tuned for that. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, share with your friends. Appreciate you once again for tuning in and spending your Sunday night with me. It's always very, very appreciated. I love you guys so much. Thanks for the support. I'll see you guys on the preview for Wednesday. Have a good rest of your night, guys. Vamos, Miami.
¿Qué mira, bobo? Anda para allá, bobo.